Trying to keep up with Polaris's seemingly endless forward momentum in the ATV and side-by-side industries is becoming a full-time job. They're introducing new and improved products and innovating new segments at a rate no one's ever seen before. 2015 sees yet another overhaul of their already unequaled lineup.
Well, for 2015, we've got lots of new models, but four in particular that I think we can spend some time talking about would be the ACE 570, the Sportsman 1000, the new Ranger two-passenger lineup, and last but not least, the new RZR 900 models in 50-inch and S versions.
If there was one thing we all agreed the original ACE would benefit from most, it was more power. For 2015, that's exactly what it gets.
Well, the ACE is a new and very unique vehicle, and we started out with the ProStar 32 engine. Then a lot of the feedback we got was that customers want more power, more performance, and we're actually asking for the 570 version, and we were anticipating this as well. So basically 6-7 months after the initial launch, we were ready to go with the 570 version, and the initial response to that vehicle has been very, very positive. Yeah, and as far as engine fit in the chassis, one of the things that we talked about when we first launched the ACE is the fact that the rear section of the machine is very, very common with the RZR 570. And given that the chassis components in the rear are very similar, it's a natural fit for the 570 engine into the ACE chassis.
Last season, the Scrambler 1000 was a huge success and gave its only other 1000cc Sport 4x4 competitor a serious run for its money. So it only made sense to attack the last 1000cc muscle bike class with a Sportsman 1K variant.
When people are looking at spending on a premium ATV, they're looking to go all in. And so for us, being able to move to that 1000 level was a key thing for us. And we started first with the Scrambler with the more performance vehicle. And then again, it was a natural, as there's a lot of shared components between those vehicles, to be able to transition the 1000 into the Sportsman chassis and make a very, very performance-oriented rec utility vehicle as well. The idea of a Sportsman 1000, the first thought people will have is like, well, that's going to be a handful, that's going to be hard to manage. And with that kind of horsepower level. So we spend a lot of time working on tuning our vehicle so that the power comes on at a very controlled and manageable rate, and that it gives you the confidence that you need to be able to use that power and not feel like the vehicle is overpowering you. There are some small changes in suspension and suspension tuning, obviously for sport versus rec. And then the other noticeable change that you'll see on these vehicles is for the Sportsman version, we did go with a single exhaust system, and it also resulted in just a little bit of difference in horsepower. The Scrambler's in at 89, and the Sportsman's in at 88.
The midsize Ranger has gained huge popularity because it seamlessly blends great capability with great value. Last season, there were a few things about the midsize Ranger we thought Polaris could easily improve on. It would seem this season, they agreed with us, but took things a few steps further.
For 2014, basically we put the 570 engine in and set up the back end of the machine. And then we came around in 2015 and then basically built the rest of the machine up new around it to incorporate a lot of the features of the Ranger XP 900, which was introduced for 13. And so some of the key things that you'll see there, in addition to things like more suspension travel and a little bit better ride, but the profile cab tubing and the ProFit cab components, the ability to put windshield, roof, and back panel on in just a matter of a few minutes. We've been able to bring that technology into this vehicle. We've got aggressive new styling. We did a lot of addressing comfort on the inside of the vehicle with tilt steering now that we have, and centering up the instrumentation behind the steering wheel, and more storage on the interior, bringing it up to the same kind of level that we had with the groundbreaking XP 900.
The biggest news from Polaris for this season is definitely the introduction of their all-new Polaris 900 lineup with the base and S models. It replaces all versions of the 800 RZR and the 900 XP.
What we were trying to accomplish there was to bring that vehicle up to the same level of refinement that we have in the RZR XP 1000, which has been a new benchmark in side-by-side performance vehicles. If you think about what we did and you look at what we have in the XP 1000 and what we built into the 50-inch and the 60-inch or S versions of the RZR 900, the chassis is largely common from the B-pillar forward. And as you know, RZR customers love their accessories. We have 275 new accessories available for these vehicles, and again, 60% of them are common across all models because of the family design, if you will. We were able to achieve more suspension travel, and we've got a 2-inch longer wheelbase, so the ride and handling is much improved on these vehicles. And simply put, though, a lot of it is just bringing the goodness of the XP 1000 down into the trail models. The decision behind the engine was largely as we thought about what would be the right performance level for the trail vehicles. It's not the same engine that we've been putting in the XPs. And then if you also think just about the evolution of time since the XP 900 was first introduced, that was our Gen 1 version of the engine, and we are now on Gen 2. And there's actually more commonality in this motor with the Ranger 900 than with a RZR XP 900 or a RZR XP 1000 motor. The most important thing to know about our 2015 lineup is just how broad our overall lineup is from tip to tail. We've got vehicles that fit just about every off-road vehicle customer usage type, and a lot of it now is largely new with the fact that we just introduced 29 new models, which is a new high watermark for us as well. It's very important for us to be very forthcoming about making sure that we've got the entire landscape of use out there covered with the model lineup that we have.
If you enjoyed this video, post a comment and let us know what you think. Then, click this link to subscribe and that link for more great videos from Dirt Tracks TV.